Hello. Wanted to do a video about this because I think, right, I've been in my own head about this for a long time, where I worry about what people think of me because of the state of my flat. It is rather messy, and it's probably because I haven't tidied it in a while. I haven't always been in my flat for the last couple of weeks, so it's kind of been like, uh, you know, I need to focus and do it. But now that I'm in my flat, sometimes I have the moments where I don't want to do anything but watch a bit of Netflix. So that's literally all I've done all day is watch Netflix. I've been getting into Fubar and all that, and I probably should at some point. And then only at the end of the day, I'm going to go in, I need to wash the dishes, I need to do this. So I've only just washed the dishes and put my dinner in. And now I'm in the motivation of wanting to tidy. Whereas before all day I was like, no, I couldn't be bothered. And I always forget this. When I'm energetic and I want to tidy, I tidy up everything. I stopped to do this video, but I think I wanted to point out it's like 1 minute I really want to tidy, so I will do everything in one go. Even at like the end of the day, I might not even go to sleep straight away. I probably will tidy over into midnight just because there's so much to do, and I don't mind it because my head goes. Because I used to get anxiety about it not being tidy and then going to bed thinking I'll do it the next day. The next day comes and it'll never happen. And I found every time that happens, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Before I know it, I'm not actually doing it, and I'm just going next day, next day, next day. So instead of next day, I'm like, what can I do right now? Can I tidy up the living room around me? Can I tidy up the bits in the kitchen? Can I sort these bits out? And then before I know it, as I've done it, I realise, oh, actually, I have tidied up quite a bit. And then if there's bits to do before I go to bed, there's bits to do before I go to bed, and I do them before I go to bed. And sometimes just the doing them helps me relax, because once I know I've done them, I don't have to worry about them anymore so much, and I can relax more. And what I then try and get into a momentum of trying to tidy, but what breaks that, and it's not anyone's fault, it's when there's a distraction, and like say, I have to go out somewhere, or I have to go to my sister's, or it's not anyone's fault, it's just because I'll come away from it, forget about it, deal with everybody else's stuff, come home again, and then will want to relax, and I won't want to do anything else. I just want to, I don't want to have to deal with my stuff, because and it's not anyone's fault, it's just the way I've been. It's like, once I've dealt with everybody else's stuff, or been around other people's, I come back to mine and I'm like, I can't be bothered to deal with my stuff just yet. I'll just sit down and relax, and that's how I've been, and it's not a bad thing, it's just, that's how I've been. And then, but what I have, I think when people see my home, they go, even when I've tidied up, there might be bits on the floor still. And so I've tidied up majority of it, but there still might be bits on the floor. Now, my place was rather the tidiest had been in a while, apart from the fact there was bits on the floor. And a friend of mine a little while ago was like, do you need help tidying it up? And I'm like, no, I've got it tidy. In my head, I already got it tidy to where it was. All I needed to do was get the bits off the floor. And that derailed me, because I thought, oh shit, I've not tidied up properly. And my head's going, I should have tidied up properly. I should have done this. And my head goes, I would have gotten actually round to doing it had she not said that. But it's just because she said, oh, do you need help? And then suddenly I was in a, do I need help cleaning? And my head goes into a, do I really need help cleaning? Or is it just because I don't, I've gotten to one point and now I need to do the rest of it. And the only reason there's bits on my floor is because my Hoover's broken. So I need to get a new Hoover to fix the whole thing. So it's got nothing to do with the fact that I'm not cleaning. It's just stuff. And obviously I don't want to I'm trying to avoid getting cheap Hoovers at the moment, because it seems the cheaper Hoovers always break. So I did, once September comes, I want to save up and get a fancy Hoover, but it just means I'm going to have to try and pick up everything by hand at the moment, at the best that I can, or any bits I'm just going to have to either brush or leave, and it's just doing it. But obviously once I do it, I'll get it done. But it's at the moment I'm trying not to worry about it. It's just, it'll happen when it happens. But right now I'm gonna have to wait until I can get it. And so it's just little things like that, and then I'm not always here all the time. Not a bad thing. I now have a boyfriend, so I think most of the time spend my um, weekends at his, and he's got an immaculate place that's really clean, and suddenly I come back to mine, and I'm like, oh no, mine's not as great. So then I start worrying I'm not good enough, like, well, but he doesn't think that way. He loves me, and he wants to come over and help me out. But my head goes, I don't, as much as that would be lovely, my head goes, I don't need you to help me out, I can do it myself. Because I'm in why should I, this is my home, I should be able to do this myself. And then I worry that people might feel like, and then, so I do struggle at times, but I don't feel it's the struggle that people need to help me with. I feel it's a struggle I need to get past. So I don't want people to help me all the time, because I want to be able to do it myself. And that's the way I am. But it stresses me out too, because I get that sudden pressure to then suddenly do it, and then I have to do it, which I don't like. It's the pressure feeling that I don't like. It's like that expectation to tidy up, and then most of it, apart from my boyfriend, not many people come over to my flat anyway, so my head just sometimes go, well, if no one's coming over, who bloody cares, so there's that as well. And I need to get past that attitude. I care about my place, I care about it being tidy or not tidy, so I do want to get to a good place where it's nice and tidy all the time, and hopefully then people might feel like coming over occasionally. But it's just one of them, I get into that, anyway, that's some of what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to reflect a little bit on mental health as well. I think when I was in a bad place years ago, I relate to a friend of mine recently. And recently I did go through it as well because of someone who died. And also I went through it a bit last year as well, after I was sexually assaulted. So I'm not suicidal, but I have had suicidal thoughts in the past. I have had suicidal, moments, and I have gotten to the point where I kind of felt like a lot of times last year, I did feel rather low, but instead of doing anything about it, I did phone helplines and things, but mostly I watched self-help videos on YouTube about whatever I was going on about, what I was worried about, and I watched a couple actually. There's one called Julia Christina. She talks about overthinking, negativity, mindset. There's another one called I can't remember her name, something the fairy godmother or something, and she talks about different types, because the things I wanted to know about was relationship advice, because I feel like I've been in a lot of different either relationships, or I fancied people and it not go anywhere, and I'd be stuck in that sort of, I'd think there'd be something when there isn't anything, and I got caught up in that quite easily. And a lot of the times I'd be I'd be picturing something that was happening that wasn't happening, and I wanted to try and get myself out of that headspace. Why was I attaching myself to so many people? Why was I and it wasn't until just this past year that I've been fully getting past it, because as soon as my friend died, it not in a bad way, but in a sort of weird way, it sort of helped me realise I needed to stop holding on to people that I needed to stop holding on to something that isn't happening. That's basically it. It was like I need to stop holding on to something that's not going to happen. And that was it. It was, anything can happen in a moment. Everything can change. People can change. Life can change. And it's not a guarantee that something's going to happen, even if you foresee it. And that's when I realised, maybe what I thought was going to happen for me is going to change. But I didn't know what at the time. And then, I've sort of been reading, I'm not Buddhist exactly, I'm actually pagan, but I have been reading some of the more Buddhist type of books and that about relationships. One is called If the Buddha Married, and it's basically about how relationships and the reasons I attached myself to someone is because I had the fear of being alone and things like that, and it was helping me pull away from attaching myself to the person that I had attached myself to, and then got me to realise it was because I was afraid of being alone. It was because I was afraid that if this person wasn't going to be, who else was going to be there for me? Who else is out there for me? And this is what was going through my head all the time. And I try not to overthink about it too much. I've always wanted to love someone and be with someone. I've always wanted to have the right kind of person, but every relationship I've been in, it just hadn't worked out for whatever reason, and I felt deflated every time because I felt like I'd go with this person who I think is absolutely amazing, only for it to turn around and not be anything at all. And I've been through this quite a lot in the past several years, so it's no wonder a few years ago I had a mental health break, because I think I'd had a few different relationships in a short space of time. And even friends with benefits as well. I've had friends with benefits, which it's a weird experience, friends with benefits, because when you attach yourself, when again the other person might not see you as a relationship, but they just want you as for the moment or at that moment in time, and then when you pull away from it, actually it's not anything anymore. And I've had that as well, and it's just I pulled out of going with friends with benefits. I pulled out with just going with people randomly that I didn't know, and then but it was because I had the therapy last year from Fear Free, and most of the advice was to put my boundaries, and I followed the advice, and basically I wasn't letting anyone go with me who was going to push me into a situation I wasn't comfortable with straight away. And there was a lot of people that would look for that, and every time I said no, I didn't want it, they made me out to be the weird one. And I was like, it's not saying I didn't want sex or I didn't want that, it's just saying I didn't want it pushed on me every time I went to just go and talk to them. And the other one was every time I talked to some guys, they seemed to make me out to be clingy, needy, or looking for a relationship, when all I was trying to do was get to know them, have a laugh with them, or just generally talk to them. And I think that's the stigma I was trying to get past. It's like I wasn't looking to go with anyone. I was just trying to, before even going with someone, I like to talk to someone. I like to get to know people a little bit more than just going to have sex, because that to me is not anything, and I don't actually have an experience. I don't know how some people might get off with just going off with strangers, but I don't. It's like I have to know who you are. That's it. I have to know something a bit more about you, then I'm just gonna fuck you. That doesn't work for me. I don't know how it works for others, but that just didn't work for me. And and the thought of going with someone I didn't know just put me off all the time. And I get messages from random guys on Facebook who I don't know, and I'm like, who the heck are you? Go away. And then when I got with my boyfriend, I realised I already knew the person when my friend suggested him to me, and then I realised I also know him. I know he's trustworthy. I know he's safe. And now as I've gotten to know him, being with him, I've learned to trust him as well. And actually, he's one of the best boyfriends I've ever actually had, and he loves me to bits. And I can't believe I'm with him. We've been together 26 days now, or 25 days, no, 26 days, and it's just it's going strong. And I have no issues with him whatsoever on anything. And so it's really weird saying that, because it's like at some point I'm thinking, is there going to be something? But no, every time we've had an issue, if there has been any, we've worked it out, we've talked it over with each other, and each of us are working it out. And then when we've gotten past it, we're like, oh my god, yeah, that makes more sense. And then it's just been talking to each other, getting to know each other. It's mainly just working out what we like and don't like with each other. And most of the best thing about me and Mike is we tend to like the same things as well. We have a similar mindset on a lot of things as well. And I think, yeah, we've both been in crummy relationships where things haven't worked out. And I think that's it. That was just. Anyway, I think. But before I met Mike, I was almost not in a negative place. I was still looking, but my head was like, am I ever going to meet somebody I really, really love? Am I ever going to meet the person? And by this point, I was almost at the belief I'd never find my true love, that I'd never find somebody I'd want to be with, and, I was in that belief that, no one's going to want to be with me, especially the way I am right now. My head was like, no one's going to want to be with me knowing that I'm messy. No one's going to be with me knowing I've got issues, certain issues and mental health. I've been proven wrong this week and more, and this month. And I think, that's what I've gotten past, and knowing that makes me feel good. Knowing that I've proven that wrong, that somebody does love me for who I am and how I am, has made my year. Has made my year. Like, I thought this year was going to be doom and gloom. No, it's been pretty good. Despite everything else going wrong in the world, that moment has been pretty good, and I love Mike to bits, and I'm glad he's in my life. So, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to catch up with that, and then, yeah, anyone going through anything heavy at the moment, I know life's hard, and you just want to, get past, it's like something feels shit, and you just can't get past it, but don't stress about it. Try and, don't worry what other people think either. Just be like, you know what, I need a woosah for me, I need a time out for me. Anything that needs sorting out will get sorted out. You will sort it out eventually. But right now, you just need to look after you. You need to remind you that you are worth everything to you, not anyone else. I know it's good that I've got someone who loves me, but the most important person that you need to think of right now is you. How you are, how you feel, what you're about. And remember that somebody will love you. People do love you, and they want you to succeed. And I think getting that mindset, and you are worth way more than you realise. And it's like the butterfly effect, where one little ripple affects the rest of it. That's you, that's me, that's everyone. One little effect that we do changes everything, and you will be a moment in time for everybody else and yourself, and you will find your own stuff as well, and you are so important in this world. Don't ever think you're not. And I think, yeah, just believe in yourself, whoever you believe in, Buddha, God, whatever, the earth, science, whatever, I don't care what you believe in, just you are important, and you should be proud of yourself. Apart from the people terrorizing people, and yeah, apart from those people, but the people who are truly doing good and striving to do good, you need to keep going, and don't let anyone pull you down or make you feel like crap. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, thank you. Bye.